Father, please deliver me from the crucifixes and the rosaries, from their Sunday schools and the ministries. It's like maybe I should be just like them, but I love this world of lust and sin. I know it's hard to handle and it's tough to learn, so I lit that Bible and I watched it burn. It's like amazing disgrace.
Jason McMaster, the one and only pastor that's taught me how to rock, how to do everything I know on as far as like being the best I could be at just being the most gnarliest rock. You made it okay for me to want to think about throwing my guitar around my body, even though I've never seen you do that.
Yeah, I don't do that, but I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to scoot my.
All good, all good.
Could I eat the table?
You eat the table eats you, bro.
Right.
Well, Jesus fucking Christmas, we are here, not live but direct from Shea Mendez. I would like to thank you all for paying attention, watching this shit, understand and realize that this man right here is a legend, good man, amazing vocalist, all around badass. Understand that. And this, what we're listening to now, is not as badass.
I think it's badass.
Oh, sweet. Dude, check out this harmony I did right here. Dude, I didn't know I could do that.
You can do anything you want.
I've been trying to.
Me
bro.
too.
All right. Okay, cool. So enough of that. Enough of Mendez. I'm very full of Mendez already. But thank you, Mendez.
Thank you, Mendez, for having me and for singing to me.
I sing to you. I can really sing to you if you really want me to.
I know you can.
I know that you know that I can.
I know that you know that I know that you can.
Well, I would just like to go ahead and reaffirm that I get it.
I got you.
You do got me. Jason McMaster over here, one of the main motherfuckers in Austin, Texas that actually made me want to grow some balls and play some rock and roll. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I don't think I did anything in particular. I didn't like thump your nuts or anything. You just started doing it.
Oh, that would have took you all day to thump my nuts.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. I don't think I could have handled it.
You would have needed a team to thump my nuts.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like you would need like a rescue mission. SWAT. In search of Bigfoot.
You would have had to go down to Home Depot, man, get some extra help.
Holy moly.
Jesus Christmas Christ. I try not to cuss on this.
I don't want to have to do that.
Okay, cool. Anyways, so we are talking to Jason McMaster, one of the foremost important metal figures, I would, in my opinion, here in Texas, period. Honestly, there's so many things I want to like as we were like winding down to this day and for this happening, I was thinking to myself, like, you're gonna have the man. What questions do you have? A lot of things that come back to Broken Teeth. A lot of things come back to Sad Wings. Isn't it Bat Lord's birthday today?
It is. Yesterday was Bon Scott's birthday, and today is the Bat Lord's birthday.
I saw you posted that Bon Scott thing.
It was a repost. I mean, I'm not cool enough to have all my idols' birthdays memorized.
Right.
I mean, I'm already a nerd. I don't need to be that big of a nerd. Did you know today's Bon Scott's birthday? But yeah, today is the Bat Lord's birthday. Happy birthday, Stu.
Stu, I like your guitar. By the way, I want to take these glasses off because these are for like doing stuff. But for real though, I'm gonna go ahead and.
You need to put the Eltons on.
Get cool. These are like I'm known for these now.
Yeah,
I can't see you anymore.
I got to get some.
Yeah.
Well, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, you want some? I'll
Just
get some.
follow the yellow brick road.
All the way to Austin, Texas. Wait, hold up. Yellow brick road? Are you trying to like talk about like some Pink Floyd shit?
No, Elton.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Dark Side of the Rainbow.
No.
I've never seen that. Can you believe that?
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I'm missing out on a whole lot. But anyways, man, so...
ask me something.
Okay. I was listening to Watchtower.
Ooh, rad.
Not just a cool magazine you can find at the on any table at any church, but also the Watchtower could be an awesome metal band that was ridiculously, from what I listened to, kind of complex.
Yeah, we were, and it's all on the table for argument. But we were later on. We were especially recognized. I think that because we were just kids, you know, seniors in high school kind of thing. We were just writing songs that we thought were cool. So later on, we were hailed as, again, arguably, pioneers of progressive thrash metal.
What I heard sounded pretty much like straight up thrash, but then every once in a while, like a little, whoa, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
that drummer was, that drummer was
Yeah.
really fucking good.
Yeah, Rick Kolaluka is a. There's no he's Rick. No one plays like that. No one plays drums like that.
Yeah.
No one thinks like that. Yeah, I mean that I fell into that. I was new to Austin. I had only been singing about 6 months. I was playing bass, and I just started singing, you know, like cover songs and shit. Priest, AC/DC, Rush. And I meet those guys and end up being their singer. And not long after that, it was kind of a thing.
So
That would have been May of 1982.
bro. So
Yeah.
growing up like in Texas around that time, like how, I mean, obviously it's like worlds apart different from as it was then as it is now.
Oh, yeah.
But like, was there anything else happening metal wise in Texas at that time? Or were you just like
Yes.
reading Hit Parader and Circus Magazine and like just going, oh, I like these bands, I want to be like that, and just like you found the dudes to do it?
I grew up on the Gulf of Mexico in Corpus Christi, and I got here in about 1980. Maybe summer of 80, right?
Yeah.
It's 80, 81. It's all blurry right now, but you know, Judas Priest British Steel was brand new. They were about to, maybe the Point of Entry was new. Judas Priest Point of Entry was kind of new. So yeah, that's 80, 81. And you know, there's no Metallica. There's nothing like that.
It wasn't even like a thing, was
I was
it?
into Fear and the Circle Jerks right around that time.
Nice.
That was my punk introduction, actually,
Yeah.
was other than the Pistols and the Ramones, because I have older brothers. And it was in this order: Beatles, Stones, Pistols, Ramones.
Was that meant to rhyme that way?
I've been saying that for years. I've been meaning to use it in a song. I probably have it in some lyrics buried somewhere because I've been trying to use it, but I've yet to record
Why
that.
would you not do that?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I call it my oldest brother, Mitch. He's one of my biggest influences. And it was, like I said, Beatles, Stones, Pistols, Ramones. And I mean, I'm in diapers, and he's listening to the Beatles and has hair down to his ass. And I'm going, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
So sooner or later, you know, I grew up on Kiss and Queen and Elton John and Alice Cooper, Ted Nugent, UFO, Rush, Thin Lizzy. Did I say Elton? 'Cause
Yeah, you
Elton
did.
was
You
a
mentioned
big
Yellow
one.
Brick Road earlier.
Elton was a big one. Is a big one for me. And then, you know, as soon as I found Kiss, so I was like, nothing else matters. These guys are having all the fun, the blood, the fire, the comic book, the kabuki demons,
The candy.
every all of it, the cheesy, the girl meets boy, the
McDonald's Happy
they
Meal.
wrote Viking rock, and they wrote, you know, I mean, you can't write a song called Christine 16 anymore. You go to jail. So I just think
yeah.
I just think that there was
Winger.
there was a lot to that. And anyway, I got here, and yeah, Austin was still very new, but it wasn't metal. It was a lot of twang, singer-songwriter. Oh, wait, it's still that way.
A lot of it is.
Yeah, blues and singer-songwriter, and that was fine, but my mom had some friends that had some kids that were my age that I might have even been from Corpus, but had been here. You know, they caught the first boat, right? And they took me because I didn't have any friends. I was brand new in Austin. This would have been that summer of '80, I think.
Yeah.
They took me to Fiesta Gardens, which was over, I think that's what it was called, right there on Town Lake by the round Holiday Inn, right there, I-35.
Oh, yeah. It's still
right
there. Was that there then?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So, but it was on the other side, I call it the back room side. But on
that place is haunted, by the way.
Downtown side. And anyway, I think it was called Fiesta Gardens. I think there's like an old folks home there or something. Anyway, they had a little air, like a mini Auditorium Shores kind of thing. And there was a stage, and I don't remember what it was, 4th of July or some kind of little, long weekend festival type thing. And they had a bunch of, at the time, hot shit Austin bands. I think the Skunks played. I think D-Day played. Anyway, I'm like, I was like, man, this is okay. And I was into Priest and Kiss, and I was in Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's first album.
Did those bands ever make it down here?
Iron Maiden's first album. Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I was my first concert down in Corpus was Rush and UFO. I saw Ted Nugent. I saw Angel. I don't know if you know who that is.
That's like a dream show. I'm not sure of Angel though.
Yeah, Angel was on Casablanca. They were this cool they were like Journey, but they were heavy metal.
Was that Gene Simmons' label?
It wasn't his label, but Kiss was on the same label as Angel, along with the Village People.
Oh shit!
Yeah, right. And Donna Summer. So Casablanca was like a disco label, and Kiss was their first rock band. And then they signed Angel, and Angel kind of dressed up like all in white. Not like Angels, but all in silver and white and stuff. And they probably knew Ace Frehley's seamstress, and they would appear on stage and disappear.
Was it a Mexican dude that was fronting that band?
No, but you're thinking right. He was probably Italiano. His name was Frank Domino.
Dude, because when I think of Angel, I think of like the toughest Latino dude I've ever met in my life.
I get it now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
If you're growing up in the ghetto,
Yeah.
in the Latino culture,
Well, then
and your name's Angel,
Jesus,
you're fucked.
Jesus and Angel.
Jesus. Oh, you got Jesus.
You got Jesus, and he's got angels.
Oh man,
he's got 5 angels. Jesus and angels come and knocking
dude.
on your door. They either like you or they don't like you. There's no in between. They're not like, hey, I just moved in. Can I borrow a cup of sugar? No, it's either bang, 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 or hey, here's a beer. Come across the street and party with us.
Watch a beer, watch our band.
Yeah, exactly.
Angel. Okay.
So, anyway, too much about that.
Okay.
Grew up down there, saw some shows, got here, brought my bass. So anyway, downtown, this concert I'm at, and I'm like, dude, I'm like 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm walking away, the Skunks and D-Day, it's kind of new wave, a little bit punk rock, kind of new wave. And I was into that.
Little out of the box. Yeah.
I was a headbanger and didn't know it. And I knew what I liked, right? I was hard-headed. And even though I had all this culture, rock and roll culture, I remember when Mitch, my oldest brother, again, brought home the first Elvis Costello record. Brand new.
I love Elvis Costello.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And
my aim is true.
See what I mean? He brought home stuff like that all the time in 78, 79.
Wow.
You get it? So, but he'd come visit and turn me on to stuff too. Anyway, so I'm up here. I'm at that show. And I'm walking away from the stage, and all of a sudden I hear, two-headed dog. Two-headed dog, I've been working in the Kremlin with a two-headed dog. And my eyes got big, and I turned around, and it was fucking Rocky Erickson and the Explosives playing Two-Headed Dog. And I was like, welcome to Austin. And that's what gave me hope, because Rocky's from here.
Yeah.
He was in the elevators, right? 13 floor elevators.
13 floor elevators.
He's kind of heavy metal, but he's more the psychedelic side.
Yeah.
So I was cool. All of a sudden, I was like, okay, maybe something. Because I ain't hearing Two-Headed Dog in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Right. So you're feeling that. So you get here.
The beginning was, so thank you to Rocky Erickson. I never had a chance to meet him and talk to him and say that, and whether he would give a shit or not. But so, you know, I'm going to Austin High School. I meet some people. We form a band. We're just doing covers. 6 months later, we're looking for a guitar player because our guitar players, you know, just wanted to try something different, or you know, we just slowed down, and so we were looking for another guitar player. And went to Ray Hennig's Heart at Texas Music, not there anymore.
I missed that place.
Yeah, and found a hand-drawn card. Said Watchtower available for parties or some shit, and it had Billy White's phone number, and it had maybe Rick's phone number, drummer's phone number.
Okay.
And I called Billy. I was like, the guitar player, and I'm like, hey, you don't know me, but I'm not headhunting. I just thought you might know somebody that they could come jam with me that plays hard rock and metal and shit, you know.
And you had your bass and you were ready to go.
And he said, we've heard of you. And I'm
what?
Like, what? Exactly what I said. And I'm
hold on for 1 second. Time out. Real quick break. Boom. We'll be right back. I got to plug in the camera. I almost forgot to, I just don't want it to die on batteries, that's all.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Go. That was the...
What?
No, it's going.
No, I know. But we've heard of you. What? Yeah, it's pretty much
there we go.
How that went.
We're good.
Yeah.
That's such a great idea. I've only ever done that one time with Chad Holt. And, boom, we're back. Continue with the story.
Okay, so I get Billy's number off that card from the music store, the guitar shop. And,
Yeah.
And I'm telling him, hey, you know, I'm just looking for a replacement. You know, I need, you know, I want to keep my band going. I'm new to town, da-da-da-da. We've heard of you. I said, it's weird. I've only been singing for a few months. He's like, yeah, you should come over.
They knew your voice.
He said, you should bring your bass. But he didn't. They'd never seen us. He just said, we heard about this guy that's in town and da-da-da. Dude, I was a metal nerd. And there was few of us, right? In 1981. So 82.
you were a metal nerd?
I've always been.
Still a metal nerd.
I've always been, but I didn't really know what a metal nerd was until maybe that moment.
Until you realized
Anyway, how like obsessed I was. Mm-hmm. But for him to say, we've heard of you, that means that Austin was small because I was new. And so I went over there a week later, I'm in their band as their singer. And like I took my bass over there and shit, and I walked in with my bass, and you know, he's like 16 years old and hair down to his ass, and he's like, we go straight to his room, and I'm looking at all his Iron Maiden and Judas Priest posters, and I'm like, yep,
this is where I belong.
This is where. And meanwhile, he's picking up his Gibson Sonics and going, oh yeah, and just like shredding 16-year-old. Any Randy Rhoads solo, he was playing it.
That's dope.
He was playing it all.
Dude, don't you hate that? Like when somebody could just grab a guitar and they'd be like, yeah, man. So like when I started playing guitar, and they're just like doing all these licks, like talking to you at the same time, and you're just going, how do you do that?
Right.
Anyways, continue.
Anyway, so I put my bass back in the case. I didn't even play my bass. Right. And so we went over to the bass player Doug's house that night and hung out all night. And we just went to the UT campus and got up on all the statues and shit and played air guitar all night. And it was a blast meeting guys that were like as excited about rock and roll and heavy metal as I was.
Just bonding.
And then and then I was in the band until 1988.
Well, goddamn, because I listened to some of those tunes, and honestly, I hadn't really. I know that some mutual friends of ours had told me, including Dave, including Sean Weingartner, some other people had already told me that. So I sort of like over in the last couple of days, I was jamming it, and I was like, this is like some straight up thrash, kind of like technical shit, and I really dug it. I just didn't know it. I had not listened to it up until that point.
We call it techno thrash. That was a kind of a thing, and then we started playing parties and shit. And
So how were the gigs back then, though, in Austin?
Well, we were still young because the drinking age was changing. If we were 18 or whatever, 17, 18, 19 years old, we were chasing the drinking age, so we weren't allowed to play in venues. So we would play keg parties, and I remember when Brody Lane was a dirt road. You go up to a certain point, and then it's a dirt road, and there was just like ranch land out there.
Wow.
And those, we had friends at school who had, Grandpa has a ranch out Brody Lane, and we'd go out there and drive on the Caliche Road and pull up, and there's a flat bed, and we'd set up on it, and they'd have power out there, and it was awesome. We'd play 3 hours and shit.
How was like downtown area at that time?
It was
what was going on? Was it just blues and country, or
yeah? It was cover bands. There would be a lot of the UT students would have like weekender kind of cover band stuff.
Yeah.
And they were playing like late 70s and early 80s. They would cover the Cars and the Producers and just new wave, early B-52s and some dance music and stuff like that. And Steamboat was a club down there on 6th Street, and the Ritz Theater was where they had Esther's Follies. And
that used to be Esther's Follies, right there.
The Ritz was Esther's Follies.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so Esther's Follies bought their own building, and obvious because it's right there on the corner of like San Jack or whatever, whatever it is, and so they, whenever Esther's Follies wasn't busy, we through Chris Gates, who Junkyard and the Big Boys and all that, because he was older than us, but he went to school with Billy for a little while at McCallum High School, and he was a fan of the band, and we were, we didn't really know anything about early, Austin punk rock until I got here and started, being in the scene and learning about all the shit that was going on, because Austin had a thriving punk rock scene.
When you say Billy, which Billy is this?
Billy White.
Oh, I'm not sure if I know that person.
Watchtower guitar player.
Yeah. See, I'm so far behind on that.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm being educated in it. As we
that's
go
cool.
along. Okay.
That's cool. So Billy White, Watchtower guitar player.
Okay.
He was the kid. He's the younger guy in the Fix there. But anyway, so we start working with Chris Gates. He starts showing us how to book our own shows. We do one that he put together at the Continental Club.
Nice.
And it was different owners, and it was a total dive. In South Congress, you could get a hooker.
Yeah, that was red light district.
It was completely different than it is now.
Even when I moved there in 2000, it seemed kind of sketchy.
Yeah. Well, this was, the Continental Club they consider that downtown now, and it's all fancy and condos and shit. Now it was like right there. You could get crack. Yeah. You could get crack and a hooker.
Mm-hmm. Now it's pastels and fucking loafers and shit.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Anyway, it was different owners back then. It was a little more punk rock,
Yeah.
And the Austin Motel has been there the whole time. It's been there the whole time. Yeah, it's crazy, right? You used to rent a room by the hour over there. So anyway, and then it was the Ritz Theater. We started putting on our own shows that we're still teenagers. We're still not playing in a bar. We're putting on our own shows.
Doing it yourselves.
Charging $5 and $7 at the door or whatever. We'd make our own money. We made our own record. We put our own record. We did everything DIY exactly like
100%.
The punk rockers did. So we learned everything from the punk rockers.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was great. And then little did we know we were creating something fresh, and the world would, I got letters and phone calls from members of Dream Theater and Death.
Wow.
Saying you guys...
Death is one of my favorites.
You guys influence us.
What?
Yeah, Chuck Schuldiner... I have put multiple pictures of Chuck wearing a Watchtower shirt.
Wow. I had no idea.
There's a reissue.
Dude, that's got to be a great honor,
I think,
man.
of Spiritual Healing, and that's a gatefold vinyl.
I have it.
You do?
Yeah, I think it's right here.
Let me see
I was listening to it just the other day. Hold on.
It might be the right one.
No.
Anyway, there's a reissue of one of the old Death records.
I was just listening to it.
And you open the fold, and he's holding his arms out like this. Wearing a Watchtower shirt.
Okay. Now I want to find it.
It's crazy. Hold on. Yeah, you just find it. Do 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 do. Find any Death record you have. I want to look at them.
Go ahead. Here we go.
Rad. Watch, I'm gonna be
So here we are.
I'm gonna be a motherfucker if I open that and it's the wrong one.
Coming back.
It's one of
Is
these.
it spiritual
One of
healing?
these records.
Okay.
I want to say it's spiritual
All right,
healing, but
well-
anyway, one of the records blew my mind. I was working at Encore Records, and this reissue came out, and I opened one of them up and looked at the insert, and it was wearing a Watchtower shirt.
Yes. Holy shit. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to go ahead and try to... And if we can't see it, then we're going to go ahead and add the...
Dude, you're hurting that record
Yeah,
by
I am,
folding
I
it
am,
like
I
that.
am
Don't do
hurting
that
it.
to that
Sorry.
poor guy.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's wearing a watch.
I was very excited. You got me
No,
stoked.
it's cool. Look at this. Fucking, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is amazing.
That's the reissue I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. So anyway, yeah, Dream Theater and Death, and there were more. There were more of them that came out of the woodwork that cited us as influences. Anyway, ask me something else.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know. We didn't know. And then, when I joined Dangerous Toys in '88, I got my buddy Alan Tecchio from New Jersey to replace me. And
in Watchtower.
Yeah.
Alan Tecchio.
Yeah,
Okay.
from a band called Hades to replace me.
I
And
remember
he
that
was-
band, Hades.
He was reluctant at first, and then he went to Europe with Hades, and he came back, and he goes, "Yeah, things are not the same anymore, whatever that means."
Mm-hmm.
And I think I want to take you up on that. I'm like, "Man, that you're going to be a perfect fit." And so, they had sent him all the demo stuff that I was on for the new material. And he got a Walkman and listened to it on a plane to Berlin to record for Noise International Records.
Yeah. Wow. That's fucking crazy cool.
And
man.
that record came out in '89.
Did what's
Control and Resistance is
what
the name
was
of that record.
the question I was thinking that's been actually on my mind all week.
Okay.
Because I knew that we were going to be doing this. So how old were you when you first saw Priest, and how did you feel when you went to go see them? Which tour was it, and what year was that?
Well, the first time I saw Priest was '82 at the Frank Irwin Center, Austin, Texas. Unfortunately, Priest had played in Corpus Christi when I was a punk, like multiple times. And rumor has it they used to start their tours in Texas. I don't know why, but I used to hear that a lot. Like down in Laredo and San Antonio, they would start their tours in Texas and work their way up. But anyway,
Interesting.
I saw them. That would have been Screaming for Vengeance tour, '82.
Yeah.
And then I saw them again, Frank Irwin Center, a year later or whatever, for Defenders of the Faith.
Fuck yeah.
And when I saw them the first time, they had Great White opening, a new band from LA called Great White.
My wife loves Great White.
They were a 4-piece band, and they were kind of heavy. It was the first record with just a white logo.
Dude's got a great voice.
Oh my God, he used to be kind of
Amazing
metal.
voice.
Yeah, he's a really good singer.
Yeah.
And then on the Defenders tour, I saw them. They had Heaven, a band called Heaven. So I've seen Angel and I've seen Heaven. Anyway, so Heaven had a member of a touring guitar player by the name of Mick Cox, who was in Rose Tattoo for a while.
No shit.
Yeah, Heaven.
I didn't know that.
They were Heaven's an Australian dirty rock and roll
Oh,
band,
my
like
God.
Rose Tattoo. I love that kind of shit.
This is going to be like one of those podcasts that we do that when you leave, I'm going to be thinking about all these things I could have asked you. The same thing that
That's okay.
I was going on
We'll
with.
just do it again.
With Dave. Yeah, we can do it again.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is really cool, man. And here's the other thing, too, about it. When the very first time I saw Judas Priest was with, it was Exodus and it was Testament, and they were opening up for Priest. This is 1991, I think.
That's a good gig right there, man.
Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah.
No. Henry J. Kaiser Arena is what they called it back then.
Yeah.
And
I think I've played there.
dude, really? Mm-hmm. Have you? Okay, let me finish this
with
story
the
quick.
Cult, I think.
And I've seen the Cult twice already, also too.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember I was so, because up until that point, it had been just like Priest, Maiden. You know, I was like straight up just Hesher. All I listened to was like stuff like UFO and just Fastway and all of the Exciter and all that shit.
Yeah.
So
Early beginnings of thrash metal,
Right.
and classic sort of new wave of British heavy metal. I get it.
So finally, I'm like, oh my God, I get to see one of the OGs. Like, I get to see Priest. So we get to go to the
That's
show.
a Painkiller tour.
Dude, it had to have been.
Yeah, 91. That's 90, 91. That's
it had to have
Painkiller.
been because like their entire backdrop was just. It must have been like 40 feet of just like, you know, fake metallic speakers.
Yeah.
Dude, and he came out on a chrome motorcycle. Everything on that thing was chrome. The lights from the rafters were shining on it. And I remember he came out like and I was just like, you know, some young kid just like fighting my way. I was like 17 or 16. I'm like fighting my way to the front. Finally, I'm like 3 people away from like the barricade. And he comes out and he's got like these leather chaps on. He's got like the fucking, you know, the leather hat. He's got like the, you know, thing, and he's got like a really tight shirt on, and he has like this long like Slim Jim whip. It's, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's like,
riding whip,
Yeah.
riding crop.
dude.
Yeah.
And he basically then they start playing, right? They start doing, I forget which song it was, but he came out.
Hell-bent for leather.
He came out to the end of the stage and he turns around with his ass out and he's like just smacking his ass. And I remember thinking, this guy's gay. I never realized this guy's gay, but this is like 91. And then he came out later, but I'm like, of course he was gay, but whatever. But
Well, you said he came out like 50 times already. So he came out on a motorcycle, it was chrome, and the lights were. Then he came out and he had a rudder. He came out.
Came out.
It
It was one of the most coolest fucking things and experiences. Because here's the thing. I had never even been to a show that I knew that ever played that long. They must have done about 2.5 hours of music. Dude.
Wow.
It was fucking crazy. Before that, though, I had seen Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime tour with Metallica and Justice for All tour. And up until that point, that was like the first time I had seen. I felt like at that point, I was like, I'm seeing a legend right now.
Yeah.
Have you met or hung out with Rob Halford or any of those guys?
No,
or Glenn Tipton or KK or any of those dudes?
No. I toured with them in summer 91. It was 5 bands for like 2.5 months, I think. It was Metal Church, Dangerous Toys, Motorhead, Alice Cooper, and Judas Priest.
That's a dream fucking
Yeah,
tour,
I've
dude.
toured with my idols, and so kind of an interesting, like, I'm not worthy moment, right?
Pinch me moment.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's what I call it.
yeah. So hanging out. When all of the bands that I've toured with, it's people. And it's an honest question. It's okay. Everyone thinks that all the bands are going to parties together and hanging out on each other's buses, and that does happen a little
Sometimes.
bit. But it doesn't. It's not. Alice Cooper's not knocking on your bus going, "Hey man, let's watch horror movies." It's not. It was early in the day one day, and KK was walking by. Sorry, I gotta keep checking.
It's all good. It's all good.
You know why?
I know what's going on.
So the, he's just walking by with some road crew guys or whatever, and it's in the middle of the day. I think it's a black stage because it was a union gig or something. And I'm just sitting on the back of the drum riser. It's backstage, but the drum riser facing.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of us out there, and we're just chilling, and he's just walk up, got his hands in his pocket, and I'm like he's like right here in front.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
KK
looking up at
Downey.
him going,
yeah.
what? This is just weird, So, one time I was on tour and KK Downing walks up to me like, a sailor walks into a bar, and anyway, and I'm just like, the only thing I can say to him is like, hey, you wouldn't happen to have an extra guitar pick on you, would you? Because I couldn't. I mean, what am I gonna say? It's like
I can't go down to the crowd and catch it, so I'd rather get it from you here now.
He's not going. So tell me your life story, Jason.
Yeah.
What's going on
Yeah,
with
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
How you doing today, man? What's up?
Do you have an extra guitar pick?
Because I'm a fan, and I want anyway. I have that guitar pick so framed
Of
at
course,
my house.
of course.
So framed. And then there was another time on the tour, and that was pretty much the end of that story. And
That's pretty funny.
yeah. And then there was that because I'm such a fanboy. I don't know how to act. You know, they say don't meet your heroes. You're not supposed to meet your heroes.
Yeah.
So the only other time is I approached Rob Halford's sort of assistant, and I said, "Hey,
handler."
I was like, "Hey, and I probably had this look on my face too. Hey, do you think it would be a big deal to Rob if I just stood on the side of the stage or wherever he walks off to when he disappears on the stage? I just want to just." Do you mind if I just hang out? Right? And he's like, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to come just hang out on the side of the stage, where his little lair is. Let me ask him, and I'll just give you a wave over tonight. And I'm like, awesome. So the whole rest
Jesus
of the day,
Christ, that's fucking-
rest of the day, you imagine, oh my God. I'm gonna go into the lair.
That's fucking dope.
And so that night, he was like, yeah, man, come on. He said, it's totally fine, man. And I'm like, oh, it's fucking great,
I'm excited hearing this because I feel like I'm meeting Rob Halford.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really meet anyone.
Oh,
yeah.
What happened then?
So don't get too excited because, trust me, I was excited, but, he's at work.
Right.
It's in the middle of the show.
Yeah, it's his work time. It's go
so
time.
I'm standing in this, sort of the foyer of this, church a la Halford, and then through the other door is the stage.
Yikes!
So I'm just standing at the other end, basically just flipping out, and he comes in, and there's tea and wine and whatever, there, and he's got rows of clothes and stuff, and he just comes in and he's waves and cool, everything's chill. And then his assistant helps him change his jacket or whatever.
I'm so in your head right now, dude.
Then he grabs his mic and walks out there, and I'm like, oh man. And he just then his assistant turns around and gives me the okay,
that's awesome.
And it was just I wanted to see the metal god in between songs.
That's the man.
And
He's
I
the man.
I have seen him in between songs now.
Jeez, that is...
It's not that exciting of a story unless you're standing there and Rob Halford's 5 feet away from
or
you.
You really, 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 really love Judas Priest, which I do, and they are absolutely hands down the best rock metal band that has ever existed.
I think that they've created a lot of moments and really been in the trenches and worked really, really hard to create Judas Priest as a household name. They talk about that in interviews sometimes about how they played it for no money. They would eat dirt and just play and tour. And it's make a record, go on tour, make a record, go on tour. So they're making 2 records a year. And they're not going home when they're off. They're at home with their parents or whatever. It's 3 days. And they still have a flat, and they're paying rent, and they have roommates, and it's
regular ass dudes.
I might as well move out because I'm gone. This sucks. You miss all your friends. I just read Rob's book, and the guy needs a hug.
He needs a hug?
He needs a hug, bro.
What do you mean? I don't know what that means.
Well, he was living 2 lives. Right?
You talking about him?
He needs a hug, and he was drunk every day of his life until the Turbo Lover tour. Every day, hammered on whiskey or whatever.
Just getting
fucking
through the day.
Hammered. Every time he ever sang, when he recorded the Turbo record, he was right out of rehab, and it was the first record he ever made. I don't really like Turbo.
Living After Midnight?
That's not, no.
Isn't that Living After Midnight?
No, that's British Steel. That's 1980.
Turbo Lover. What else is on that album?
Turbo's later. It's 87. 86.
Turbo Lover is one of my favorite records from Priest.
He was finding a new himself.
There was a pop song on there. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. Anyways,
Parental guidance.
Maybe.
There was all kinds of.
I can't remember.
Anyway, I could talk about Rob for days. Anyway, so he needs a hug. He had a really hard time, kind of like pretending to not be gay in certain circles and like on the lam looking for love in all the wrong places.
Right.
The old saying. And it sucked. And he was probably, that's why he was drunk all the time. And then he, cocaine and wow, it's crazy.
I have
crazy.
I could.
He's been clean for a really long time now. And obviously he's the happiest he's ever been. But it was an entire life he had lived of Judas Priest and making heavy metal and being the metal god and being this person people wanted him to be and not who he kind of wanted to be.
Yeah.
Until he was, but he had to quit his fucking band to fix, he quit Judas Priest.
Did he quit or did they ask him to take a break?
In his book, he's saying, I'm taking a break. And then they just replaced him.
With Dude.
And everybody. And then he was.
And he came back with Painkiller. No, he came back with Fight.
Well, he did Fight.
Yeah.
He did Halford, band Halford. And he did a record called 2. With
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's kind of 9 Inch Nails. It's Trent Reznor songs.
Okay.
That he
did not know that.
Skinny Puppy guy involved a little bit. And anyway, it's an interesting. Just go read his book.
I have to read it.
Just go read it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
First of all, I just couldn't imagine like walking through life having to pretend to be somebody else when deep down I know that I'm this other person. And you kind of like I could see how that would be depressing. I could see how that would be hard. You're sort of like feeling like you're putting on a show for other people, what they expect of you. When he came out, I mean, I already knew though. As soon as I saw him, I just knew just the vibe I got. I'm like,
it's
I know.
like people who don't
and it
know
didn't bother me.
You don't know Freddie is gay?
Yeah, it didn't bother me.
I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Anyway, the point of that is I got to tour with Judas Priest, and it's one of the greatest moments of my life.
There was a story that you told one time when I went to go see, I think went to go see Sad Wings at Red Eyed Fly, and this was a while ago because you were actually the vocalist for Sad Wings or maybe continue to be the vocalist for Sad Wings.
Yeah, we're trying to book shows.
Yeah. So one of my favorite all-time tribute bands ever, and at one show at Red Eyed Fly, you were talking about how you were able to sit there next to his wardrobe, and I think that's a story.
That's the story I just told.
You were telling me, and he's like, and he goes, and then you said every night I got to see this guy just dress up into the same clothes, the same leather clothes. You said something about they didn't get washed. If they did get washed, it was very hard because it's leather. I don't know how you wash leather, but he wore the same thing every night for the duration of that tour, and I was like, that's got to be some hardcore shit. Like this dude just like wearing the same sweaty clothes every day. And I can relate because I've been on tour wearing the same sweaty ass pants, turning my socks inside out. I mean, I've been there, but I'm not Rob Halford. I'm pretty sure he had people helping him. But
I think
that really stuck out to me when you said that on stage.
I think that when Judas Priest started out and they hadn't personified that leather look yet. Mm-hmm. And they got all that from a bondage, a fashion store that sold bondage gear in London. And it was Rob's influence, of course. But so, I think in the old days when they wore leather and they got it all nasty, sweaty, they had to fucking wear it the next day. They had to wear it every night.
Yeah, because leather does not dry.
No. And then when they got to be, Judas fucking Priest, when they got bigger, they had, pleather and lighter gear that was machine washable, and they had multiple costumes or whatever you want to call it. Just easier. They were easier on their clothes. They didn't have to wear their fine leather and stank it out all the time. So, yeah, I learned that the hard way too. But yeah.
So as vocalist for Dangerous Toys, you went ahead and did a lot of really, really cool tours. I'd imagine you've been on tour with all the glam bands at that time. Would you have considered?
Some would think, but no.
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 Okay, I would think so because the songs
No,
I've heard and the way you guys looked super. You guys kind of like had like that glam look, sort of, but more. The music was definitely more edgy and rock and roll absolutely.
We got
sure.
lumped in with a lot of the Sunset Strip bands, and if you just listen to what's going on in the songs, it's not really the same thing. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. Where we did sort of lean in and feel strong with was bands like Rhino Bucket and Circus of Power and Junkyard. And there's probably a few more bands that I thought that, worked with us really well. We did tour with Junkyard. We toured with LA Guns. We did a handful of shows with Warrant and a couple of shows with Extreme. We did a gig at Studio 54. It was called the Ritz at the time we played there. There's an infamous Guns N' Roses live concert that MTV used to play all the time. That's really awesome. Anyway, it was filmed there at the Ritz, which is, again, the old Studio 54.
Yeah.
But I did a gig there in '89 with LA Guns and Extreme, and that was freaking awesome. And I got to play there twice. I played there again with I think, Warrant. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that was fun. Going to New York City for the first time. I told this story the other day. I'm standing in line in New York, first time in New York, to get into the Cat Club. And I was talking about this.
Was that the spot in New York?
Talking about this. It was just one of the cool rock bars.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I'm from Texas. I don't know where to go.
New York City.
I'm just first time. Get a rope, So I'm standing in line, and I don't know anybody in line. I think my guys were already in the house.
Mm-hmm.
They were already in there. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm just minding my own business pretty much. I'm kind of freaking out on the city, and I'm
giant.
It's like 10 people in front of me. And
massive.
then I noticed there's this kind of a shorter cat, kind of off to the side, kind of looking, and he's kind of like, sort of like right here, like a look kind of close. And I'm just kind of, and I'm like, I look over and I'm like, hey man, what's up? What's up, dude? Cool. And I look again, it's Dee Dee Ramone.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
awesome.
I'm not kidding. I mean,
Wow.
everybody knows what. If you like rock
yeah.
and roll, everybody knows what Dee Dee Ramone looks like.
Yeah.
He's a little. I'm like, whoa. I didn't go, oh my God, you're Dee Dee Ramone. I just went like, oh hey.
Yeah.
Oh, I went like, hey, what's up? Oh hey,
Shit.
dude.
What's up, bro? Yeah.
But I didn't we didn't get each other's number or anything. Like that.
I've never really been. There's only a couple of times in my life I've been starstruck, and it was only when I worked for Slayer. And
that's pretty serious.
Yeah, so when they told me like, I'm gonna be working with Kerry King and Tom Araya, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But beyond that though, I've never really been starstruck. I've met a lot of really cool like rock and roll people, especially out on the road doing my tour. Because I worked for, I don't know if you know this or not, but I worked for, that band, and you'll know us by the Trail Dead for I don't know, probably 10, 11 years or something.
Cool.
And so we've been around the world many times, and there's been many times I've shared the stage, or we're just like passing through, or we're having lunch in the cafeteria next to whoever. And it's always been all good or anything, but I think I kind of sort of got starstruck when I met Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. A little bit, but he was so cool, kind of like made me calm down. Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth kind of was weird, but he was cool about taking pictures and stuff. But the Slayer dudes are like, have you ever met anybody that's like you were like, besides Halford, that you actually felt you're kind of like starstruck by?
Every time I meet someone that I love, like really fucking love their music,
and respect.
I don't know how to act. I'm to this day.
Really?
I don't know how to fucking act.
You seem so confident though.
I don't know how to fucking act in front of like people. It's like, I just turn it. I get willy nilly, man.
Oh man,
it's really strange. I mean, I have friends that are fucking rock stars, and it's no big deal to me because they're my friends before they're rock stars. But
right?
I know people who are rock stars.
I hear you.
But when
I met
you
the
know.
dudes from Toto one time. That kind of made me feel weird.
See, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, that was
I
weird
met the
for
guys
me.
in Toto once. I was going to say, you mentioned you worked for Kerry King. Watchtower opened for Slayer on their first tour at the Ritz Theater.
Ooh.
A gig set up by Chris Gates. That was one of the gigs that we got to do.
Yeah.
We got to do shit. Dude, King Diamond, Anthrax, Slayer, Trouble, keep going. All of the bands on their way up.
Yeah.
Like Watchtower got to play with all those dudes.
Well, I'll send this to. I still stay in touch with Dino from American Records. I'll send him this. I'll send this to him. Maybe he'll be interested. I haven't really talked to him for a couple of years now, but ever since the Slayer thing, like we've always stayed in touch. But I'll send him this podcast. Maybe he'll listen to. Maybe he won't. But
well, I don't really. Sorry, D. I don't know who that is, but you know,
Dino?
that's all right. That's
yeah,
cool.
he's cool. He's
Yeah.
good. He's a good man.
Awesome.
He was really cool to me. Really cool
Awesome.
to me.
That's important in this business because you meet people on the way up and you meet them on the way down, and it depends on the way how you're going to get treated on the way down, the way you get treated on the way up.
like working for the Slayer dudes. They actually, I mean, besides like the initial getting over the first half hour of hanging out with Kerry King and. You know, I've been I've been listening to Slayer since I've been in like 4th grade. Okay, so I get to work with Carrie now.
Yeah.
That first half hour was pretty like I'm just gonna do my job.
Right.
But beyond that though, like they just are really cool ass dudes, and what they were looking for is just somebody who's cool and not a fanboy, which I pretended not to be.
Yeah,
but
you have to. You don't want to meet your heroes because like you're like me, you don't know how to fucking act.
But they were straight up super nice, and I remember leaving after that entire experience. I remember leaving. I'm like, are these guys like really really happy and cool because they're successful, or are they crazy successful because they are just really really cool ass dudes? And their producer had done the album Repentless. His name is Greg Gordon. So he had told me before, like towards the end of the little recording session that we were doing, I was talking about them. Like, I thought these guys are going to be like, and he's like, oh no, man, we just like to work with cool people. He's like, there's a reason why you're here. It's because you're cool. He's like, we would rather work with somebody who's cool. It doesn't matter really how good you are. We want to be around cool, normal people. Yeah. And that's pretty much more or less how it turned out for me. And so after that, my perspective changed on a lot of things and how I perceive and approach music or individuals or musicians or even me, myself, where I'm at and what I mean, you know?
Yeah, I have a story that fits that if you don't mind me telling it.
No.
There is a close friend of mine that I don't get to see very often anymore. Named Jeff Tweedy, not Wilco Jeff Tweedy, but it's spelled the same. Everything they look totally different. They're two different people, same exact name.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, both of them are friends with my Jeff Tweedy. Used to work for Beck, and Beck is good friends with Jeff Tweedy Wilco. So Jeff Tweedy Wilco's hanging out with Beck.
Wow.
And Beck goes, "Hey Jeff, come over here, and I want you to meet Jeff. Hey Jeff Tweedy, this is Jeff Tweedy." Mm-hmm. And he took a picture of Jeff Tweedy next to Jeff Tweedy going like this. And Beck used to run his own website. And there was a photo for a little while of two Jeff Tweedys and a microphone. He took a picture of two Jeff Tweedys and a microphone.
That's cool.
Anyway, so my Jeff Tweedy, who is grew up in North Austin and still lives there, he's exactly like what you're talking about. He's super quiet, super smart, and as far as I recall, I think no one kill me, Jeff, your mom, your family, don't kill me. But I think he only has like a 9th grade education.
Oh,
he's one of those guys.
Okay,
he could take apart any of these amps and these computers and stuff and put them back together and make them better. 9th grade education. He's the coolest, most mellow, and smartest guy, naturally motivated, silent, quiet, ninja motherfucker.
Intelligent as fuck, just doing this shit.
So he's worked for Prince, Axl Rose, MCA, Beastie Boys.
Wow.
God, it goes in. It's
I'm
incredible.
Sure.
Bruce Hornsby.
Yeah.
Drummer for the Eagles, Don Henley, dude, it's effing crazy the level of like, oh, like godly musician people that he's worked with and worked for, been on retainer where he just goes home for a year and they call him and he jumps and then he goes home and he calls. As far as I know, the last known gig that he had and may still have, it's hard to gauge what everyone's doing right now because I haven't reconnected because of COVID.
Yeah, the COVID shit.
But he was Little Steven.
Huh.
E Street Band.
No shit. Wow.
That's a gig. So I've known him since he was like 14, and I hired him to be Billy White from Watchtower's guitar tech, and look where he went.
Jesus Christ.
It's kind of really crazy, right?
That is really cool.
But it hits home because of what you're saying. Like the biggest bands in the world, it doesn't matter if you're the most kick-ass sound man or guitar tech or lighting director or drum tech or whatever. You just have to be like have your head about you.
Nobody wants to work with the fucking asshole, especially if you're going to be stuck in a bus with this motherfucker for 3 or 4 months.
Working people want mellow because usually if the guys in the band are hardcore, they don't want more hardcore.
Correct.
They want mellow so they can just be who they are all the time and have you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I totally understand that and believe that. Which is why, so for a while, I guess I was like going back and forth with that. There's this band from LA called AWOL Nation. Me and the dudes in the band, I was just guitar tech, right? So me and the dudes in the band, those LA folks are just like, we're just worlds apart. But as far as like work environment, we're like, boom. We're like Voltron.
That's important.
And that's what it is. Yeah. And they called me a few times whenever they come to Austin or anywhere in Texas. They'd hit me up for a gig, and they flew me out to go do some gigs. I worked for Silver Sun Pickups for a little bit. And at one point, I was just like, why am I getting all these cool-ass gigs, right? What it turned out to be, or what I just came to the conclusion, besides what Greg Gordon had told me, was like, well, you're a good dude. You know what you're doing, and that's really all we looking for. We don't want the guy coming in there with his chest out like saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do and I'm the best at this, because we don't need any of that.
Yeah.
It's like we just want to work with somebody who's cool as fuck and you're happy, and we need positive energy. And I can't tell you how many people who I know in this town who are crazy, badass, talented motherfuckers who are constantly just like hitting their chest going, why wasn't it me? When's my chance going to happen? Like I deserve this and I deserve X, Y, and Z and all this stuff. And I'm like, maybe that's the problem, man.
Yeah, if you tell yourself that you're deserving, you may not be.
You might feel a little self-entitled with that shit, and we don't want to be fucking with that. You know what I mean?
You're filling your own head with things that people are not saying.
Right.
It's what you are saying. So you have to get reviewed by people you don't know before you can believe it.
And believe this or not, but one of my closer friends, when I got that Slayer gig, he himself is a guitar player. And I'm not going to say his name or anything like that. And I love you if you watch this, and you fucking know I love you. But when I got the gig for Slayer, he goes, because I was so excited, I didn't know who else to call to tell. And I knew that he could keep his mouth shut. And I called him up, and I was like, yo, you'll never guess who I'm teching for the next week. And he was like, who? I'm like, I'm working for Kerry King and Tom Araya. And he goes, you? Why did he get you? I'm better tech than you. How'd you get that gig? And I was like, can't you just never mind. I mean, I'm just sharing this with you. And he's just like, dude, if anyone's qualified for that gig, I'm better than her. And I was like, okay, well, was sharing a happy thing, but whatever, but
be happy for me.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Right. Yeah. Drummer from I have a band called Fire Walk With Me, and the drummer from my band also plays in, and you'll know us by the Trail of Dead. Guys from Trail of Dead did my artwork for my thing. They've helped me write some songs, and and it's all good because at one point you just become like family and stuff, right? And right now, Jason Reese has a new project, and they are just taking off. Like Pitchfork's giving them reviews, Brooklyn Vegans giving them write-ups. There are videos all over YouTube, and I saw a bass player today earlier before I saw you, and I just have nothing but love for them. I'm just so happy.
Awesome.
I'm just like, dude, great, dude. Because seeing my homies do well, because I'm not worried about if someone's gonna take my drummer. Like I'm privileged to even have the people in my band doing what they're doing for me. They believe in my idea, but if they're gonna go out and do some cool shit, then fuck yeah. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, get yours, do it. I'm going to support it 100%, and I ain't going to sit around hating. You know
No.
what I mean? I don't do that shit. That's just not within
Right.
me. You know?
Yeah.
When you see your homies doing better, when you see them doing better than you, you lift them up. You should just be happy for people who are doing good. And that's how I feel about a lot of my friends who are doing great.
I feel like if there's someone you love and someone you even look up to, that are on your side, that are in your back pocket, and you're in theirs, just because they get, handpicked by somebody to go do something cool that you know that they are worthy of getting, and why wouldn't you be like freaked out?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
That's
yeah.
fucking kick ass.
Yeah.
That's the nuts and bolts of a relationship, and that's nuts and bolts of being a pro.
That's right.
That's nuts and bolts of just being
Yeah.
a down to earth motherfucker and looking out for your homies.
But
that's what it is.
Sometimes
that's what
it
it's
takes a long time for people to learn that, and then sometimes, your
Oh,
dream-
I wasn't always like that.
yeah,
but for sure.
yeah,
I am now.
I could
Yeah.
probably say the same about
Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
I mean, the things that you dreamed about, that you really wanted to happen for yourself, and you really believed it, and maybe I wouldn't call it you were cocky about it, but maybe you knew that you had a product, and you knew what you were worth, but you didn't. You only did it because of the way that it made you feel inside.
Right.
That's what makes you honest.
You're right.
Because you're doing it because of the way that it makes you feel inside.
True love and admiration for your friends
Yeah.
is looking out for them.
Yeah, but then, and not to make it be about me, I remember it wasn't about getting a record deal or making a record or going on tour. Those weren't really part of my dreams. My dreams they stopped at the stage. If I could play a song from top to bottom on a stage,
I love Kill 'Em All, dude.
With my friends, I've made it.
I know. I love.
That's it.
You were so happy whenever I would go see Kill 'Em All. I would be like, I don't think I've seen McMaster smile this much ever, because like you'd just be up there just playing these kick-ass Metallica songs. And who is that guitar
So
player
happy.
that
Oh,
y'all?
that's Derek Halfman.
Dude, that
That's
guy's
his name.
kick-ass.
He's from San Angelo, Texas.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
He drove all the way down for those gigs.
No, he moved here in the 90s with his rock band and with dreams of rock stardom.
Oh, dude, that guy.
With the bass player in that band.
Yeah, dude, the Kill 'Em All shit was fucking dope, and I would
Thanks.
always go see the Kill 'Em All stuff. too.
Maybe it's since it's, COVID's kind of slowing up a little bit and people are starting to get a little bit smarter about decisions. I think that maybe we'll start that back up.
Well, I think that people are kind of crawling out of their shells these days, man, and for
I'm glad they're crawling. I think too, if we rush into this, we're just going to have another pandemic. It's just, it happened once, it'll happen again. It's always going to be there. It's not, COVID's not leaving us.
right. I mean,
It's always been there.
It's gonna be like the flu, pretty much.
Yeah.
Did you get your flu shot this year?
Yeah. All the time.
It's gonna be like one of those things.
Yeah, all the
They're
time.
talking about like
Yeah.
variants and stuff. I'm not really too
Yeah.
sure about all of that, but every time.
Well, just stay healthy, get checked out, take the shots.
yeah.
Fuck it.
Trying to get, I'm working on my own health these days. I'm having a drink right now. I don't drink all the time anymore. I used to drink a lot.
I have this effect on him.
Yeah. I had to. I was too nervous. No. It's just because whenever I think of this, man, I just think of rock and roll, and I feel like I'm at Red Eye Fly, and I want to like listen to Broken Teeth.
No, you know what I feel like when I'm with you is I'm at emos on stage singing Painkiller.
Holy shit! All right, dude. So one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life. Okay.
Me too. Hey, I was there.
All right,
I enjoyed it.
I know you were there.
I had a great fucking time.
But it's like we had gotten Broken Teeth to do a show for High Walk Crucifixes, my old rock band, and we had like called up this man. We're just like, hey, let's go ahead and see if we can get McMaster to sing Painkiller, because we've been to all the Sad Wings shows and we not once have you ever played Painkiller or I've ever seen it done. So we went ahead and asked McMaster. He showed up like maybe to 2 rehearsals. One, I think. Yeah, is that it? Was that
you remember I brought in my whole fucking rig to sing one fucking song with you?
Yeah, to sing one song, and we went there and we
a lot of people don't think that singers have to load in.
Oh yeah, no.
They think, what do you load in? Your microphone? I go,
no,
my microphone,
his monitor,
a monitor rig,
effects.
I had effects.
Cables.
Anyway,
make sure that your shit's on point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I want to hear it right now. How I'm going to hear it tomorrow.
Right, exactly. So we happen to have the honor of having Jason McMaster come up and sing Painkiller. There's 2 separate videos of it that went around, but I just remember looking back at my band and when McMaster came up, because he already had his stuff set up on stage because Broken Teeth were doing their thing right after we had main support. And I remember I just saw McMaster walking on stage, and in my brain, Chris Solanese and I had been talking about this for weeks. We're just like, this is the rite of passage. We have made it. This is the cosign from McMaster. He's on stage with us. Highwalk Crucifixes. This is it. And we fucking pulled it off, and it was so fucking cool. The looks on the people's faces, because they had no idea we were gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I remember when we started it, there was maybe I could see there was one chick in the front. As soon as we started it, she goes, ah, and then eventually, maybe 10 or 15 seconds into the song, people start figuring out what's happening, and they're going, "Oh my God, McMaster's gonna sing Painkiller!" And it felt like something everybody had been waiting for a long time. And when we did it, we fucking pulled it off, and
that's the only time
it was fucking.
You're
awesome.
the only band, and that's the only time I've ever done that song. I'm in a Priest tribute, and we've never done it.
It was fucking totally amazing.
I wish the video footage, the audio was better.
Could have been better.
It's distorted. Yeah. It's old iPhone shit or something.
And I saw you shared that on Facebook, bro, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Big time. That was very validating for us as a band. We went home. I was basically walking on a cloud. I'm like, that was not just one of the best shows that we played, but then we got to do the Painkiller tune. And we had been rehearsing that song all month. I was doing vocals at the rehearsals. And dude, I swear to God, I spent hours every day just trying to do what Glenn Tipton was doing.
Yeah. Well, I would want to hear you sing it.
Oh shit! No, I don't.
You don't have that squeak.
No, I could do it, but it just doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound
like what?
Like the well, you and I talked about this afterwards. We talked about the falsetto.
Yeah, you got a gun up on it. It's a belly push.
Yeah, and I was talking to you about that afterwards. Mm-hmm. I think because just watching you do it, you were saying there's a whole thing about learning how to really push and push the falsetto up and out and make it just
not falsetto anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So
I never really got that part.
You can find those
I never
notes.
did that.
Yeah, you can find those notes up in your Mickey Mouse voice, Yeah, and everybody can talk like this, but to project that and have tone,
and control.
Took me a lifetime.
Which is what you have. It took
me a long time to figure out what the hell that was.
Right on, man. Man, I'm just so very excited and happy and beside myself to have you here at my house doing this. Eventually, I'm gonna get a green screen and it's gonna look like we're behind. And we could be anywhere. We could be in flames, or we could be in heaven, or we could be.
I like it.
Yeah, I want to do more stuff of this.
I've always wanted to go to France.
We can go to France. I wish I could just go boom and then just do the editing and boom, we're right there.
Or Rome.
Yeah, I've been to Rome. Well, actually, I haven't been to Rome.
Ooh.
Have you toured in Europe?
I toured Europe in '89, supporting Faster Pussycat.
Oh shit, cool.
And our record was out here. That was December '89. Mm-hmm. It had come out in summer '89 in the States, but it came out we were in Europe like 2 weeks, and it came out like 4 days after we got there. So it was like brand new, and by the end of it, we started to gain some kind of thing. But what's cool about it is I got to play Hammersmith Odeon.
Wow, that's like one of like the that's like one of the things for most metal bands is to be able to like step on that stage and do that.
Yeah, I mean a lot of my heroes that played there, from Celtic Frost to Jimi Hendrix to just fucking everybody, Motorhead of course. But the first time I even heard about Hammersmith Odeon was No Sleep Till Hammersmith, Motorhead. So
right. When did you start realizing that you were getting more into like the more heavier stuff, like the more thrash metal besides the Watchtower stuff? What were you like into Exodus and Defiance or Testament and stuff like that?
Yeah. So
what were your
when
favorites?
You think about, I love the question. So when you think about just a kid from anywhere, from anywhere, you could be from anywhere, but who grew up, around the same age or whatever. And
yeah, I'm 74. I was born in 74.
Yeah, I'm born in 1965.
Okay, so got a little bit on me.
So anyway, the idea is if you like Judas Priest and you like Van Halen and you like, the first couple of Iron Maiden records, and then Metallica comes out, and you either understand Metallica. I always tell Kill 'Em All shows. I always tell the joke. Anyone in here remember the first time they heard Kill 'Em All, or do you remember when the day the record came out, like I do? Because when you took it home and you press play or put the needle in the groove or whatever you did, it made you feel like you should throw away your Dokken records, because a lot of people, they didn't realize you could do that with guitars and drums, and then Show No Mercy by Slayer comes out. And then you understand exactly what is happening, okay? So then you find out the makings of Metallica and then Megadeth and the whole like L.A. Bay Area, because in L.A. there's Dark Angel and Hyrax and it's all over. It's crazy. Agent Steel, and it's crazy, man.
Yep.
And then in L.A., there's the whole. Everybody knows the Bay Area thrash metal scene.
But Death Angel.
There's even more that. There's even more than that. There's more of like just a heavy metal. There's a bunch of they were lumped in with the thrash metal bands, but there's a lot of just good heavy metal bands from there. A lot of people don't realize Y&T is from the Bay Area. Journey is from the Bay Area. Mr. Bungled is from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I hear you.
So they had a scene. LA had a scene. Everybody's got a scene. So if you're growing up in that during that time, and you know what is happening to rock and roll, and you're on top of it, and you like heavier music, I feel like it's automatic. I don't feel like you hear Metallica when you're that guy. I don't feel like you heard Kill 'Em All, because Kill 'Em All was the gateway, because it was kind of like they did so we could kind of thing.
It was a combination of thrash metal and punk, right?
Yeah, Motorhead. Because of Motorhead, because of Motorhead and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, there was all of this new wave of things happening in America, and Metallica just happened to be on top, right? So you think like that, and you go, and that's arguable. Insert another band's name, and I could probably agree with you, but the point is the same. I feel like, for me, that story, that joke that I say, man, it made me feel like it wasn't cool to listen to anything I was listening to a week ago, because this is kind of like, what the hell is, it makes you get, the energy level was off the chart, and it's like, okay, Ace of Spades and then Kill 'Em All. It's like, oh, well, wait a minute, this is this is like Motorhead's this loud, fast blues band,
right,
with this gnarly, you know what I mean? And then you're like, what the fuck? These are just kids. And
then Kill 'Em All comes around, and it's like they turn it up to 11.
These are just kids.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like that. And for a while there, when I started getting into a lot of the new wave of British heavy metal and Merciful Fate and Venom, and it was around the same time that Metallica and Slayer, I bought those records, and I got into Venom and Merciful Fate, and I was like, this is this is another person happening to me. This is like I'm becoming possessed by something that's making me forget about Gene Simmons.
Man, like almost like a reinvention of like how you're looking at things.
Like hard rock and what we knew to be metal was changing faces is all.
I could still put on Bad Company, but I love that just as much as...
Oh, of course.
But I know what you're saying.
But when I was 17, 18, 19 years old and all that was coming to fruition,
yeah,
I was going, I'm obsessed with this. If it's not Venom, Merciful Fate, Slayer, Anthrax, okay, Motorhead, okay, early Iron Maiden.
100%.
Okay, there was like this, you'll do. Oh, that's okay.
Oh, yeah, you're in there like swimmer without the chin hair.
There was a couple of years where I wasn't listening to Rush and Van Halen.
Yeah, they never really grabbed. I mean, Van Halen did, but Rush not so much.
Well,
that came later on when I started thinking about my instrument. That's when they become important to me.
That's like a sin because Rush was an influence. That they were much like Metallica and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Do you know who was the change of the faces? It was Van Halen. It was like, okay, like Boston and Van Halen, and it was like before that. It was Bowie and Alice
Nobody
Cooper.
was like really doing anything like Van Halen. I think like Eddie Van Halen came and changed the face and like made it okay to showboat.
They were supporting Black Sabbath on their first tour, and that was a face change. It's the same as Metallica opening for Ozzy in '86. People showed up going, Ozzy, who's Ozzy?
Yeah.
What's this Metallica? Oh my God!
And what was that? Was that
that's Master of Puppets?
Was that Master of Puppets? I was thinking like Red Lightning.
Yeah. So in 3 years, those guys. So after that Ozzy tour, Metallica never opened for anybody else ever again.
What?
You heard me.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Since then,
So think about it for a second.
They've never been main support for anybody else.
I saw Metallica at 4th and Brazos, downtown Austin, August 24th, 1983.
Wow.
Kill 'Em All tour, put on by Waterloo Records when Waterloo was like the size of a closet on South Lamar, south side of the river, not the north side on 6th Street.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I was living near there, and I was riding my bike, and I saw, opening soon, Waterloo Records, and there's two hippies in there with records all over there, and they're sitting on the floor with Birkenstocks, and they're like, hey, we're not open yet, but come on in. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome, that record store, I love records. And they're like following me around with a yellow pad. What do you like? And I'm like, I like New Wave British Heavy Metal and Motorhead, Tigers of Pantang, and I like all this cool shit from England, man. And they ordered it all. And I said, I'm going to bring my friends back, and we're going to buy it all. And we fucking did.
Jesus Christ. That's such a fucking cool
So
story.
when they opened, and they were like, they knew me by my first name because I was there before they even had blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
right? So I'm in there, and I'm in there one day, and I'm like, they see me before I even got in 2 steps in. Oh my God, they're holding up Kill 'Em All. We just got this. You got to hear this shit.
Yeah.
And they put the headphones on me, and they go, dude, check. And I'm like listening, and hit the lights, and it comes in, and I'm like, and I'm looking up at the person behind the counter, and I'm going, what the fuck, and it's like, oh my God, it was immediately my favorite band. A month later, I'm in there, and they say, you like Raven, right? I go, I love Raven. I said, we're bringing them. Guess who the opening band is? And I'm like, I have no idea.
They brought the band?
Raven,
or just the vinyl?
Raven,
okay.
Raven. I already had all of Raven's records.
Okay.
I was a huge Raven fan already.
Right.
English, New Wave British Heavy Metal,
for sure.
So they go, hey, I'm in there a month after Kill 'Em All comes out. They go, you ever heard of Raven? I'm like, oh my God, I've heard of Raven. Fuck yeah, I love Raven. And they're like, well, we're bringing them. They're on tour, and guess who the opening band is? And they go, Metallica.
Shut
and
up.
I'm like, what?
Dude. Jesus Christ.
My life changed after that.
Oh my God. That
so
is
they gave me
fucking fantastic story.
They had an in-store.
With Metallica and Raven?
Yeah. So I go in, and I'm getting all my fucking Raven. A stack of Raven, and they sign them all.
God
and da-da-da-da-da.
Damn.
Now I'm friends with John Gallagher.
Jesus Christ.
The Raven singer. Yeah. Anyway, so So yeah, I meet the Raven guys. Oh my God, I'm just freaking out. There's only like 20 people in there, because the Waterloo had only held, it was like a closet.
Yeah.
So, and there's a baby pool full of ice and beer, and they did that. I did a bunch of end stores there. Anyway, so and I'm meeting Metallica for the first time. Like, I had the one record, and I'm like, oh my God,
Cliff
you
Burton
guys
was there.
Of
You
course,
met Cliff Burton?
of course, yeah.
Oh my God.
My Kill 'Em All is on Megaforce Records, not Elektra. No cover tunes on it.
Did they all sign it?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
shit.
framed in my office.
Fuck.
I have the set list from the show.
Magic. That's
I
magic.
have the
shit,
set list
dude.
from the show that night.
Oh my God.
So anyway, I get them signed, and I meet them like, oh my God, you guys are fucking awesome. Da, 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 da. And dude, I go to the gig.
That's fucking insane.
I go to the gig, and I'm there, and I'm across the street with the San Antonio Slayer guys. Slayer was
Yeah.
from San Antonio.
The first one or whatever. Yep.
Then it's 83,
Yeah.
so they're kind of new, and they have a record out, and they're my friends and everything. And so we're across the street. You know where the rail yard apartments are?
No.
4th and Brazos. Anyway,
I know that.
there was an open lot there, and my buddy Bob has his van parked there, and they're drinking beers. I was straight edge back then, and drinking beers and hanging out. James Hetfield walks over. What are y'all doing? Hi, here's a beer, bro. Cool, hanging out. James Hetfield before. I gotta go get ready. We're on in a minute. And da 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 da. See him open the show. First mosh pit. Fucking crazy, man. See Raven. Oh my God, changed my life. I was in the pit. Got an elbow to the nose. John Gallagher from Raven comes outside to find me. Hey mate, you all right? I'm like,
he saw you get knocked out or knocked around.
He came out to find me, make sure I was okay. That shit's real.
That's fucking cool.
Went the next night, saw same show in San Antonio at a place called Daddy's on Fredericksburg.
Shit.
And they call me by name. I get out of the car, and there's Metallica stepping out of their Winnebago. Winnebago.
I got nothing.
They go, Jason, what's up, man? Yeah. And I'm going to the club. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm hanging out with Metallica all day and all night.
Yeah. Fucking A.
Got James's address. We were pen pals for a few years.
God damn. And then you went on to do your own shit with fucking toys. That is fucking sick.
Yeah. We got to do this again because...
Yeah. Well, we're running out of time here. We're running out of time.
I'm sorry, but thank you very much for having me. I want to come in here and tell some more stories.
Let's go ahead and do that. But let me get some outro music, bro. We could oh my God. You basically just blew my brain balls away, dude.
When I say the stories, I can't believe it because it's like an old war story. It really is like an old war story. Obviously, we all know what happened to Metallica, and they became the biggest band in the world, but that's why the story is so awesome. I mean, if they would have all, been dicks and become just, I don't know, broken up or what. I mean, God, Cliff just 3 years later the whole thing is.
That was a fucking.
The whole thing is just a crazy, you could say the same thing kind of happened to AC/DC. You could kind of say the same thing happened to AC/DC when Bond died.
Yeah, man, but.
It's not the same circumstance.
I sort of feel like bombarded with all this this rad shit. I feel like he just came and dumped a treasure of dude.
Don't sweat it.
Well, we definitely have to do it again, and let's get Dave here next time. We can do this, and
we'll make room.
Yeah, we can.
I can sit, bitch.
I have I have these other tripods here. We can definitely put him over here.
Put him in the garage.
But we got to give him a good background. We can't be having my kitchen over here. Maybe give him some flames or something.
Right here is fine, bro. Just put him right here.
Right over here?
No, just right here. We could fit another chair.
Okay, we can do it.
Yeah.
Hey, anyways, by the way, Jason McMaster, don't ever fucking forget it. Impossible to forget at this point. Rich Mendez, and thank you for watching Release the Best podcast on Triple Crystals Media. Be sure to check out Dangerous Toys. Be sure to check out Watchtower, and watch out for Godzilla Motor Company. We didn't get to talk about that, but maybe next time.
Yeah, that record's out. They can buy it on Bandcamp. I have a new record coming out this month by a new band called Cassius King on Nomad Eel Records, and it's if you like Black Sabbath and Trouble and Doom shit like that, you'll love it. The record's called Field Trip.
Go ahead and where else will we find you on Facebook, Instagram? What's going on with that?
Just Google me.
Just Google him or call me 512-788-7487. You got it.
My new manager.
Hey, so we're gonna go ahead and end this out with my old hardcore band. But I love you, Jason.
Love
amazing,
you too, buddy. Thank you.
You're fucking cool as fuck.
Thank you. You are awesome.
One of the best people I've ever met.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
So let's go ahead.
That's like money in the bank right there, bro.
It's just it's Let's go ahead and see if I didn't fuck this up. Did I not fuck this up? All right, here we go. Is it going? Because I'm an idiot and I should probably press record. Fuck it. I'll edit it.
You can edit it, bro.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye.
I have